Hello, welcome once again to Victor Sport Blog. I'm not alone in the studio. I have a lovely gentleman in the studio, a man of dignity and priority. This man will be able to distinguish himself when it comes to sports. Analyst, why don't you join me as I welcome Mr. Eric to the studio.
Happy to be here, Victor.
So today we'll be talking exclusively the match between Manchester United and Wolverhampton. Also, don't forget that controversial match, Man City Tottenham, the VAR, the decision of the VAR and the referee. What do you think? And also we'll be talking about the NFL and tennis. US Open, of course. You don't want to miss this. Sit back and relax. We'll bring you all this. Welcome back to now. We're going straight to the Premier League, the English Premier League. Of course, you know the defending champion, Manchester City. Are they moving up to expectation? Are they coming up? They're on third position behind Arsenal and Liverpool. Do you think Liverpool, they're not going to let it down? Of course, you know what Liverpool can do. When they're on top, they don't want to go down. These guys know what it takes to be championship. They are UEFA championship. And Arsenal, the old Arsenal, now they are back. They are back in scoring form. They won this titleship. They won the premiership back to them. Their team, they are all screaming. The fans are screaming. They won this. Man City, do you think they're coming to retain the premiership? And of course, Manchester United, Chelsea, we have there. Tottenham is there also. With all this together, we're going straight to Premier League. And now Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United, Brighton and Albion, they are there. Who do you think is going to win the Premier League? Of course, Eric, who do you think is going to be Championship or Premier League this season?
It's a long season that just started. I would say that I do believe that Man City with Salah and all those is still one of the most talented teams in the league. Even like their game on Saturday, they outshot Tottenham 30-2, I believe, but ended up losing because of that controversial VAR call. But if I had to pick my favorites, it would probably be Man City still right now, just because I think not only do they retool in the offseason and got better from what they were last year, but I expect them to do good. What did you think of that VAR play on Saturday, that handball?
To me, I'm going to tell you, I still believe in the VAR. The decision is absolutely right. I strongly believe in it. And a thumbs up to VAR implementing into Premier League, implementing into soccer, implementing into sports. Thumbs up to that. I'm with that. And of course, you can believe that VAR is the best thing that's happened to sporting world, football precisely. When the argument, when the debate is on field, why don't you use the VAR? You see it clearly, and decision is final on that note. And let's go on the rundown of the Premier League. Arsenal 2, Burnley 1, Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 2, Brentford 1, West Ham 1, Everton 1, Watford 0, Norwich City 3, Newcastle 1, Southampton 1, Liverpool 2, Man City 2, Spurs 1, Sheffield United 1, Crystal Palace 0, Chelsea 1, Leicester City 1, and of course, Wolves 1, Manchester United 1. And then, that goes to Paul Pogba. During that penalty, that would have been a 2-1 for Manchester United, but he lost it. And there was chanting on him on racist abuse.
Yeah.
What is your take on that note? Do we need that in Premier League? Do we need that in sports?
We don't need that anywhere. Like, it was, I will say it was a poor PK by Pogba.
Absolutely poor PK. No doubt about that.
He should have had that game done and won right there. They're absolutely the better team, too. When it comes to the racial slurs being yelled at, there's nothing in anywhere that should be allowed, and I hope, like in a lot of American sports where there's cameras all over the stadiums, they try to find the offenders. I just hope people like that with the ushers in the stadium get caught and are never allowed to games anymore, because I don't mind the razzing and getting on players and making mom jokes and things like that, but when you're crossing racial lines and making very inappropriate comments like that, it's a game. I know people are passionate about their sports, but in the end, it's a game, and there's no reason for it. And if I was a Man U fan, I'd be mad at Pogba for missing that. But bringing in that sort of hate is just not needed or ever warranted in sports. Period.
And you heard it from Harry. You said it up nearly. Then on the head, he said up to the height it is. Racism. Let's kick racism out of soccer. Let's kick racism out of sports. And then we move on to NFL. Back at home. NFL. The power ranking is out. Boy, New England Patriots still remain number one. What are your takes, Eric?
I mean, it's hard to go against New England and Brady and Belichick ever, but I would say preseason, before the season starts, my favorite is still Kansas City.
Wow.
I still think Kansas City's a better team. I think Patrick Mahomes may not put up the ridiculous numbers he did last year, but I do expect him, again, he's a second-year starter now only. I only expect him to get better. And again, they have the same team, the same tools. They've added on the defense. So right now, preseason, my number one ranking would be Kansas City.
Kansas City from Harry. But of course, you won't talk NFL without Dallas Cowboys. They talked about money. They talked about the billions. The Dallas Cowboys. They know what it takes. I actually like the entrepreneurship. I like when you finance sport. I like when you put money in sport. It makes a beautiful game interesting. Time to Dallas Cowboys. They are number 9, of course. I'm waiting for them. But of course, you know the number 1. Patriots, New England Patriots. You still remember number 1 with Kansas City Chiefs, New Orleans Saints, Los Angeles Rams, Philadelphia Eagles, LA Chargers, and Chicago Bears. Oh, Chicago Bears are number 7. Boy.
It's because of the talent on both sides of the ball, they're definitely a top 10 team. It all comes down to how the quarterback, how Trubisky plays. If he takes that next step, they're a real contender. If he stays where he at or has struggles in the pocket still, then they're going to regress, and all that talent on the offense will be wasted. That defense, although was amazing last year, I think they're only going to get better this year because they had so many raw young players that are only going to get better. Roquan Smith only going to get better. Eddie Jackson only going to get better. Eddie Goldman only going to get better. Like, all these players on that Bears defense are so young and so raw still that I think that they still have steps to make up. And like, even Khalil Mack, he's only 28 now. So like, it's not like he's going into the twilight of his career. He's in the middle of his prime.
And of course, he had his in the middle of his prime. From there, we move on to tennis, US Open tennis. We have Maria Sharapova, we have Kvitova, we have Naomi Osaka, we have Djokovic, Rafael Nadal. Boy, the US Open is tickly. It's coming so strong. Who do you think we don't win the US Open? Defending champion Naomi Osaka who wants to retain that title. And of course, Djokovic, you know, Djokovic, when he's on the pitch of play, when he's there, when he's on court, don't give it out. So what's your take on that?
So a beautiful venue up in upstate New York. I've heard it's something that everyone should attend and witness at some point in their lives. The male side, as always, it's 3 guys. It's been 3 guys for 15 years now. I want to say Nadal's won the US Open 3 times. Federer's won it 5 times. So I would take those 2 as my 2 favorites. I think Djokovic has only won it once. So those 3, and the cool thing is on the women's side, with Serena going through her struggles currently, it is more wide open than it has been in so long. Anyone. And for me personally in sports, I love parity, I love wide open. So the women's side is going to be way more entertaining in the middle to late rounds than I believe the men's side would be.
That's how sport is interesting. The competitive side, no one. We're rooting for everyone in sports. Go for the best, Djokovic. Go for the best of another. The final word from Eric.
I mean, I appreciate being here, and I always think the Premier League is just getting underway, which makes me excited. It's a long, fun, star-filled season. NFL's getting rolling. It's such a good time of year for sports. Baseball's coming into the playoffs. We got the US Open starting. Like, it's such a great time for sports right now.
Great time for sport from Harry. With all that put together, I say goodbye. We'll be right here. Same time, same place. Hook up with us. We'll always be here. Bye.